Poor boy asks Millionaire for help, but when he looks at his face, Michael Anderson was walking hurriedly through the streets of downtown New York City when he felt a gentle tug on his suit sleeve. His thoughts were focused on the important meeting he had in 15 minutes, but something in the fragile voice calling out to him made him slow his pace. That's when he saw the boy for the first time. The child couldn't have been more than 10 years old, wearing a faded t-shirt and patched shorts, his bare feet on the hot asphalt. But it wasn't the humble appearance that made Michael stop completely. It was what he saw when the boy lifted his face to look at him. "Please, sir, I need help to buy medicine for my grandma," the boy said, stretching out his small, dirty hand. Michael felt the world spin. There, on the boy's forehead, was a crescent-shaped scar, exactly like the one his son Ethan had before disappearing 7 years ago. The businessman's heart raced as he noticed other familiar features: the shape of his brown eyes, the way he tilted his head when speaking, even the dimple in his chin. "What's your name?" he managed to ask, his voice choked. The boy took a step back, startled by the intensity of the well-dressed man's gaze. "Tyler, sir. Tyler Wilson." "Tyler," Michael repeated, as if testing the sound of the name. "And your family? Where do you live?" The boy vaguely pointed in a distant direction. "I only have my grandma, Dorothy. We live over in Chinatown in a boarding house. She's really sick and the medicine costs $20. I've been trying to get money all day, but..." The boy's voice faltered, and Michael saw tears forming in eyes so much like Ethan's. Without thinking, he pulled out his wallet and handed him a $50 bill. "Take this, and keep the rest for food too." Tyler's eyes widened in disbelief. "Really, sir? You don't even know me?" "I don't need to," Michael lied, because in truth he felt like he'd known that face his whole life. "Just give me your address. I want to make sure your grandma is okay." The boy pulled a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket and scribbled an address in pencil. His hands trembled, not from cold but from emotion. "We live at 247 Maple Street, Mrs. Henderson's boarding house. Thank you so much, sir. Grandma Dorothy will be so happy." Before Michael could ask more questions, Tyler ran into the crowd and disappeared among the people. The businessman stood frozen on the sidewalk, clutching the paper with the address, as passers-by jostled him from side to side. That night, Michael couldn't sleep. Sitting in his leather armchair in the office of his Beverly Hills mansion, he stared intently at the photograph of Ethan at 3 years old. The scar on the boy's forehead was visible in the picture, the result of a fall when he first started walking. "Where are you, my son?" he whispered to the photo, as he had every night for 7 years. Jennifer, his wife, appeared in the office doorway wearing a silk robe. "Michael, it's 2 in the morning. Come to bed." "Jennifer." He turned to her, his eyes shining with a hope he hadn't felt in years. "I think I found our Ethan." Jennifer's face paled. "What are you talking about?" Michael told her about meeting Tyler, describing every detail of the scar, the eyes, the boy's appearance. As he spoke, he saw his wife's expression shift from surprise to something that looked like fear. "Michael, stop this. You know we've been through this before. How many times have you thought you saw Ethan only to..." "This time is different, Jennifer. The scar is identical. The shape of his face, the eyes. I'm going there tomorrow." "No, you're not," Jennifer snapped with a fierceness that startled them both. "I'm sorry, darling, but you can't keep torturing yourself like this, Ethan. Our son. It's been 7 years now." Michael observed his wife's exaggerated reaction with growing curiosity. "Why are you so nervous, Jennifer?" "I'm not nervous. I'm worried about you, about your mental health. I can't bear to see you suffering anymore." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers a lot. Now, continuing. The next day, Michael cancelled all his meetings and drove to the address Tyler had given him. Maple Street was in a modest neighborhood far from the luxury of Beverly Hills. Mrs. Henderson's boarding house was an old 3-story building with peeling paint and laundry hanging from the windows. He went up to the 2nd floor and knocked on apartment 12, as he'd been instructed at the front desk. An elderly woman with white hair and a tired face opened the door, clutching a handkerchief in her hand. "Are you Tyler's grandmother?" "I'm Dorothy Wilson, yes. Are you the man who helped my grandson yesterday?" "I'm Michael Anderson. May I come in? I'd like to talk with you." Dorothy invited him into the small apartment. It was simple but clean, with old but well-kept furniture. Tyler was sitting on the floor, doing homework in a worn-out notebook. "Tyler," the boy looked up and smiled when he recognized Michael. "Hi, Mr. Anderson. Grandma Dorothy is feeling better because of the medicine." Michael knelt to the boy's level, studying his features again. Up close, the resemblance to Ethan was even more striking. "Tyler, can you tell me a little about your family, your parents?" The boy's smile faded, and Dorothy quickly stepped in. "Poor thing, he was orphaned very young. I've been taking care of him since he was a baby." "And how did you meet? Are you related to him?" Dorothy visibly tensed, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. "Oh, it's a long story. Tyler is like a grandson to me, a blessed child." Michael sensed she was avoiding details, but didn't want to press her in front of the boy. "Mrs. Wilson, would you mind if I helped you out a bit? I could arrange for a private doctor to check on you, make sure your health is okay." "There's no need to trouble yourself, Mr. Anderson. It's no trouble. Tyler touched my heart yesterday." In the weeks that followed, Michael began visiting Dorothy and Tyler regularly, always bringing food, medicine, and gifts for the boy. With each visit, his conviction that Tyler was Ethan grew stronger. The boy shared the same preferences as his son. He loved chocolate, was afraid of thunder, and made the same distinctive gesture when concentrating, running his right hand through his hair. During one of these visits, Tyler had an asthma attack. Dorothy panicked as she couldn't afford the hospital, but Michael immediately took the boy to Mount Sinai Hospital. "I want every possible test," he told the doctor. "Full blood work, x-rays, everything." "Sir, for an asthma attack, that's not necessary." "Doctor, run all the tests. I'll pay out of pocket." 3 days later, Michael received the results. His heart nearly stopped when he read them. Tyler's blood type was AB negative, the same rare type Ethan had. His hands trembled as he held the papers. That night, he confronted Dorothy. "Mrs. Wilson, I need you to tell me the truth about Tyler." "What are you talking about?" "His blood type is extremely rare, AB negative. Only 2% of the population has it, and I have reason to believe Tyler might be my missing son." Dorothy paled and sank heavily into a chair. "Mr. Anderson, my son Ethan disappeared 7 years ago. He had the exact same scar Tyler has, the same blood type, the same face. Please, tell me how Tyler came to you." Dorothy remained silent for long minutes, staring at her own hands. "I found him in a square," she finally said in a weak voice. "He was abandoned, crying so much. He was about 3 years old. There was no one around, no note, nothing." "Which square?" "Times Square. It was nighttime. I was coming back from my cleaning job. The boy was alone on a bench, wrapped in a blue blanket." Michael Anderson's heart stopped. The blue blanket. He remembered perfectly the blue blanket he had bought for Ethan when he was born. "Do you still have that blanket?" Dorothy nodded and went to an old cabinet, pulling out a faded blue blanket. Michael held it with trembling hands. It was the same one. It even had the initials EA embroidered in the corner, Ethan Anderson. "Mrs. Dorothy, this is my son's blanket. Tyler is Ethan." The elderly woman began to cry. "I knew one day someone would come looking for him. But the boy, I raised him as my own grandson. I love him, Mr. Michael." "I understand that, and I'm grateful you took care of him. But I need to understand how my son ended up in that square. A 3-year-old doesn't just run away from home alone." The next morning, Michael returned home determined to have a serious talk with Jennifer. He found her drinking coffee on the porch, reading a magazine. "Jennifer, I need to talk to you about something very important." "Good morning to you too, Michael," she replied without looking up from the magazine. "I found our son." Jennifer dropped her coffee cup, which shattered on the floor. "What did you say?" "Tyler is Ethan, I'm absolutely certain. The blood type, the scar, the blue blanket, even the blanket we bought for him when he was born, is with the boy." Jennifer's face turned pale. Michael, this is insane. You're obsessed. It's not obsession. It's my son. Our child is alive and was raised by a kind woman who found him abandoned in Times Square. Abandoned? Jennifer repeated the word as if it were poison. Yes, abandoned, and I will find out how our son ended up there. Jennifer stood up abruptly. I don't want you to keep digging into this, Michael. Forget about that boy. Forget. If he's our son. He is not our son, Jennifer shouted with a fury Michael had never seen in her. Our son has been gone for 7 years, and that's it. His wife's extreme reaction made Michael take a step back. Jennifer, why are you so upset? Because you're driving me crazy with this obsession. Enough. She stormed off the porch, leaving Michael alone with his thoughts. Something was very wrong. Jennifer's reaction wasn't just that of a mother protecting herself from pain. It was someone afraid of something. That afternoon, Michael hired a private investigator. Robert, I need you to investigate my own wife, he told the detective. I want to know everything she did around the time our son disappeared, especially on the day he went missing. Michael, are you sure about this? Investigating your own wife could open wounds that... Robert, my son is alive, I found him. But someone abandoned him in that square, and I need to know who. 2 days later, Robert returned with information that left Michael chilled. I found something interesting, Michael. Your wife was undergoing psychiatric treatment at the time of Ethan's disappearance. Psychiatric treatment? Severe postpartum depression. She was seeing Dr. William Roberts weekly. And there's more. On the day he disappeared, she left home at 8 p.m. and didn't return until 5 a.m. the next morning. Michael felt his world collapse. She told me she went to bed early that night. And there's something else. I found a witness who saw a woman abandoning a child in Times Square exactly on the night he disappeared. The description matches Jennifer. No, it can't be. Michael, there's a possibility your wife abandoned her own child during a depressive episode. Should I keep investigating? Michael had to sit down. His legs wouldn't hold him anymore. Keep going. I need to know the whole truth. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now, continuing. That night, Michael couldn't bring himself to look Jennifer in the eyes during dinner. She noticed his strange behavior. Are you okay? You're so quiet. I've been thinking about Tyler, about Ethan. Jennifer's fork trembled in her hand. I already told you to drop this. Why, Jennifer, explain to me why you're so sure he's not our son. Because I just know he isn't. A mother feels these things. You didn't even look at him properly. You refused to come with me when I offered to take you there. Jennifer stood up from the table. I'm not having this conversation. Yes, you are, Jennifer. Michael slammed his hand on the table. So you're going to tell me where you were the night Ethan disappeared? The plate in Jennifer's hand slipped and shattered on the floor. How do you know? So it's true. You left the house that night and lied to me. Jennifer began to tremble. Michael, did you abandon our son in Times Square? The question came out as a pained whisper. Jennifer collapsed into a chair and started sobbing uncontrollably. I wasn't well, Michael. I was so sick. My God. Michael felt like he'd been punched in the gut. You really did it? I didn't abandon him, Jennifer cried through tears. I left him with someone. Just for a few hours. I was going to come back. With who? Who was this person? A woman I met in the park. She said she could watch him for a while until I felt better. But when you came back, what? She was gone. I couldn't find her or Ethan anywhere. I searched all night. Michael sat down, trying to process everything he was hearing. Why did you never tell me? Because I knew you'd never forgive me, and also because I wasn't sure I wanted him back. The last sentence cut through Michael like a knife. What do you mean? I was sick, Michael. I had horrible thoughts about hurting the baby. The psychiatrist said it was the depression, but I was scared of myself. Part of me thought, maybe it was better if he stayed away. Michael had to leave the house. He walked the streets of Beverly Hills for hours, trying to understand how his life had become a lie. His wife had abandoned their own son and lied about it for 7 years. The next day, he returned to the boarding house to see Tyler. The boy was playing with new toys Michael had brought him. "Hi, Mr. Anderson. Look at the car you brought yesterday." Seeing that innocent smile, Michael made a decision. He sat beside Tyler. "Tyler, would you like to live in a big house with a big yard to play in? With Grandma Dorothy?" "Of course, with Grandma Dorothy. That'd be great. But why? Do you want to adopt us?" The innocent question struck deep in Michael's heart. "Something like that, Tyler, something like that." Michael spoke to Dorothy about his plans. At first, she resisted. "Mr. Anderson, you have a life, a family. Tyler is a simple boy. He doesn't know how to live in that world of luxury." "Mrs. Dorothy, Tyler is my son, and you're the only mother he's ever known. I don't want to take that from him. I want you both to come live with me." "And your wife? What does she think about this?" "Jennifer. We have some things to work out." Meanwhile, Jennifer did everything she could to stop Michael from bringing Tyler home. She even hired security to watch the house and keep the boy from entering. "This is insane, Jennifer." Michael confronted his wife. "You're keeping our own son from coming home." "He's not our son," she shouted. "Our son has been gone for 7 years. That boy is a stranger. You know very well that he's Ethan. That's why you're so afraid." "I'm not afraid of anything." "Yes, you are. You're afraid he'll remember you. You're afraid he'll tell someone how he was abandoned." Jennifer fell silent, but her expression confirmed Michael's fears. That week, something happened that changed everything. Tyler had a severe asthma attack in the middle of the night. Dorothy, desperate, called Michael, who immediately took them to the hospital. As they waited in the hallway, Tyler, struggling to breathe, held Michael's hand. "Mr. Anderson," the boy whispered, "you look like someone from my dreams." "What do you mean, Tyler?" "I dream about a man who used to carry me and do this." Tyler made a motion with his hands, as if swinging a pendulum. Michael felt chills. It was exactly the motion he used to make for Ethan when he was little, mimicking the old office clock to calm him down. "Tyler, do you remember anything else from those dreams?" "I remember a woman in a white dress who cried a lot, and a big house with a garden. But Grandma Dorothy said they're just dreams." Michael knew they weren't just dreams. They were fragmented memories from when Tyler was still Ethan. At the hospital, while Tyler slept under sedation, Michael made a drastic decision. He requested a DNA test. "Doctor, I need absolute certainty. This boy could be my missing son." The doctor was surprised, but agreed to perform the test. 3 days later, Michael received the results that scientifically confirmed what his heart already knew. Tyler was Ethan, his biological son. With the results in hand, Michael returned home determined to confront Jennifer one last time. He found her in the living room, looking at old photos of Ethan. "It's over, Jennifer. I have scientific proof Tyler is Ethan." Jennifer looked at the DNA test results and broke down. "I know, I always knew." "Then why did you fight it so hard?" "Because I'm afraid of him, Michael. Afraid of what I did. Afraid he'll remember. Afraid you'll leave me when you know the whole truth." "What truth? You already told me you abandoned him." "I didn't tell you everything." Michael felt a chill down his spine. "What else?" "The woman I gave Ethan to was your sister, Amanda." "My sister? Amanda was involved in this?" "She came to me when she found out I was depressed. Said she could take care of Ethan for a while until I got better. I thought it was help." "And what happened?" "When I went back to get Ethan, she said she'd changed her mind, that she was keeping him forever. Said you'd never need to know, that I could say he got lost." Michael couldn't believe what he was hearing. "And you agreed?" "I was desperate. And part of me thought maybe it really was for the best. I was so afraid of hurting the child, so Amanda kept Ethan for a few months, until she got scared by the investigation into his disappearance. She came to me and said she'd return Ethan, but she couldn't give him back to me directly because you'd suspect. So she took him to the square. She said she'd leave him somewhere safe, where someone good could find and care for him. She knew Dorothy from her cleaning job in the building where she lived, knew she was a good person." Michael had to sit down. His own sister had been part of the whole scheme. Amanda planned all this? I don't know if she planned it or took advantage of the situation. She was always jealous of our life, our financial stability. I think she saw a chance to make us suffer. And the two of you decided to let me suffer in agony for 7 years. I've regretted it every single day, Michael. But he didn't know how to fix it, how to explain. And as time passed, it only got harder. That night, Michael didn't sleep. He paced around the house, trying to process everything. His wife had abandoned their son because of a mental illness. His sister had taken advantage of the situation out of envy, and he had lost 7 years of his own son's life. By morning, he made another decision that surprised everyone. Instead of kicking Jennifer out of the house or fighting with Amanda, he called them both for a meeting. "I could destroy you both for years to come," he said, looking at Jennifer and Amanda. "I could take legal action. I could tell everyone what you did. But I won't do that." The two women exchanged confused glances. "Why not?" Amanda asked. "Because Tyler, needs peace. He's already suffered abandonment once. I won't make him endure more family conflict." "What do you want from us?" Jennifer asked. "I want you to take responsibility for your actions. Jennifer, you're going to therapy. You're going to get proper treatment. And you'll earn our son's forgiveness day by day, not with words, but with actions." "And me?" Amanda asked. "You'll help financially. A good portion of the fortune you've always envied will be used to create a program for reuniting separated families. You'll work on this project as a way to make up for the harm you caused." "And Tyler? Will you tell him the truth?" "I'll tell him little by little, so he can process it. He has the right to know who he is, but he also has the right not to be traumatized by the truth." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. 2 weeks later, Tyler and Dorothy moved into the mansion in Beverly Hills. The first day was hard for everyone. Tyler felt lost in the big house, Dorothy felt out of place in the luxurious surroundings, and Jennifer could barely look at the boy. "Tyler." Michael knelt to his son's level. "This is your new home. But I want you to know Grandma Dorothy isn't going anywhere. She'll live with us. Forever? Forever. And you?" Tyler asked Jennifer shyly. "What should I call you?" Jennifer's heart tightened. She wanted to say, "Call me Mom," but she knew she had no right. "You can call me Aunt Jennifer while you get used to it." In the first few weeks, Tyler explored the house with curiosity, mixed with nostalgia. Sometimes he'd stop in certain spots as if something felt familiar. "Mr. Michael, why do I remember this clock?" he asked one day, pointing to the antique clock in the office. "Maybe you've seen one like it somewhere," Michael replied, still not ready to tell the whole truth. "Maybe, but I'm sure someone made that pendulum motion for me before." Michael mimicked the motion with his hands and Tyler grinned. "Yes, exactly like that. It was you in my dreams." Jennifer, watching from the doorway, slipped away silently and cried in her room. Every tender moment between Michael and Tyler was like a knife to her heart, reminding her of what she'd lost because of her own actions. Dorothy adjusted better than expected. She became something of the house's official grandmother, cooking simple dishes Tyler loved and telling stories that made him laugh. "Grandma Dorothy, now that we live in a rich house, you don't have to work as a cleaner anymore," Tyler said one day. "Who said I stopped working? Now I take care of this whole big house." Dorothy laughed, dusting the living room furniture. Little by little, Tyler started calling Michael Dad. Not forced, but naturally, as if something inside him knew that's how it should be. "Dad, can I invite some kids from my new school to come play here?" The first time he heard the word Daddy, Michael almost cried in front of his son. 7 years of longing were being healed with one simple word. With Jennifer, the process was slower and more painful. Tyler treated her politely, but there was a natural distance. She tried to get closer, but always awkwardly. "Tyler, do you want me to help you with your homework?" "No need, Aunt Jennifer. Grandma Dorothy already helped me." "How about we watch a movie together?" "Daddy said he's taking me to the cinema today." Each polite refusal from the boy felt like a stab to Jennifer's heart. She knew she was reaping what she had sown, but that didn't make the pain any less. One day, Tyler had a nightmare and woke up screaming. Michael and Dorothy rushed to his room, but Jennifer got there first. Without thinking, she hugged the trembling boy. "Hey, it's okay," she whispered, stroking his hair. "Aunt Jennifer, I dreamed about a woman in a white dress who left me in a dark place." Jennifer froze. The boy was remembering. "It was just a nightmare, Tyler. You're safe now." "But it felt so real. The woman was crying a lot and said she loved me, but she still left me." Jennifer couldn't hold back her tears. Sometimes people do bad things even when they love. Sometimes they're sick and can't think straight." "What do you mean?" It's when the mind gets confused, you know, and the person does things they didn't want to do but can't control." Tyler looked into Jennifer's eyes. "Was the woman in my dream sick?" "Maybe she was, Tyler. Maybe she was very sick and very sad." "So it wasn't her fault?" The innocent question broke Jennifer's heart. It was her illness's fault, Tyler, and she probably regrets it every day. Tyler hugged Jennifer tighter. "If I ever meet that woman, I'll tell her I forgive her. Because being sick isn't anyone's fault, right?" Jennifer cried so hard that the boy got scared. "Aunt Jennifer, why are you crying?" Because you're a very special boy, Tyler, and any mother would be lucky to have a son like you." That was the first real moment of connection between them. From then on, Tyler started including Jennifer in small things, asking her opinion on his school clothes, telling her about his day, sometimes even asking her to read him a bedtime story. Michael watched everything in silence, seeing his family slowly rebuild. He decided it was time to start telling Tyler the truth, but gradually. "Tyler, you know what? You're not just like me. You are my son." The boy stopped playing and looked at Michael curiously. "What do you mean, Daddy? You were born in this house. Grandma Dorothy raised you when you were little, but you're really my son." So Aunt Jennifer? She's your real mother, Tyler." The boy stayed quiet for a few minutes, processing the information. "Why did you leave me with Grandma Dorothy when I was a baby?" Because Mommy got very sick, a sickness in her mind that made her confused and sad, and for a while she couldn't take care of you properly. Like the woman in my dream? Exactly like the woman in your dream." Tyler looked toward the living room where Jennifer was arranging flowers in a vase. "Is Mommy better now?" "She's getting treatment to get better, but she loves you so much, Tyler. She always has." "Can I call her Mom?" "Only if you want to. There's no rush." That night, Tyler approached Jennifer at dinner. "Mom, can I ask you something?" Jennifer nearly dropped her plate when she heard Tyler call her Mom for the first time. "Anything, Tyler. Can you tell me about when I was a baby? What was I like?" Jennifer smiled through her tears. "You were the most beautiful baby in the world. You always smiled even when you cried. And I loved when I sang for you to fall asleep. Can you sing for me today?" "I can, my love, I can." The following months were a slow but steady rebuilding. Tyler alternated between calling Jennifer Mom and Aunt Jennifer, depending on his mood and the situation. She never corrected him, respecting the boy's pace. Dorothy officially became the heart grandmother of the family. She shared the responsibilities of caring for Tyler with Jennifer, and surprisingly, the two women developed a genuine friendship. "Mrs. Jennifer, can I say something?" Dorothy said one day while they cooked together. "Of course, Dorothy. I know you regret what you did, and I know you love Tyler. I just wanted to say, I don't hold any grudges. You were sick. Thank you, Dorothy, and thank you for taking care of my son when I couldn't. He's our boy now. Our Tyler." Michael kept his promise and established the Anderson Family Reunification Foundation, an organization that helped reunite families separated by various circumstances. Amanda volunteered for the project, finding a way to make amends by helping other families. "We've reunited 17 families this year," she reported during a foundation meeting. "Great work, Amanda. Every reunited family is a victory." "Michael, I know I can never undo what I did, But thank you for giving me a chance to make things right. Everyone deserves a second chance, Amanda, even you. The foundation became well known in New York City, and Tyler's story, shared discreetly without personal details, inspired many people not to give up searching for missing relatives. On Tyler's first birthday at the mansion, the family threw a special celebration. The boy, now 11, had grown and thrived in the stable, loving environment. "Tyler, make a wish," Michael said as everyone sang, "Happy birthday." Tyler closed his eyes, focused, and blew out the candles in one breath. "What did you wish for?" Dorothy asked. "I wished for our family to never be apart again, and for all families in the world to find each other like we did." Everyone at the table was moved by the boy's words. "You know, Tyler," Jennifer said, holding her son's hand, "you taught me that love can heal even the gravest mistakes. And you taught me that sometimes people do bad things, not because they're bad, but because they're hurting," Tyler replied with wisdom beyond his years. Michael looked at his reunited family. The son he thought he'd lost forever, the wife who fought every day to be a better mother, the humble woman who had saved his son with pure love, even his sister who had found redemption by helping others. "You know," he said, "I always thought family was about blood, about genes. But I've learned that family is about love, forgiveness, and choosing to stay together even when it's hard." Tyler stood up and hugged Michael. "Dad, I remember almost everything now. I remember when I was little, I remember the day I left home, I remember the sadness. But I also remember you never stopped looking for me. How do you know that?" "Grandma Dorothy told me. She said you used to come around here sometimes over the years, handing out food baskets in the neighborhood, that you were always searching, even without realizing it." Michael was surprised. He had indeed done charity work in the area for years, but had never connected it to his search for Ethan. "Maybe my heart knew where you were, even if my mind didn't," he said. Jennifer, who had been in regular therapy, was very different from the woman who had abandoned her son years before. She had learned to handle her guilt in a healthy way and had become a present, loving mother. "Tyler," she said one afternoon while helping him with his homework, "do you think you'll ever be able to completely forgive me one day?" "Mum, I forgave you a long time ago. You were sick. And look how you took care of Grandma Dorothy when she had the flu last week. You're a good person who went through a rough time." The simplicity with which Tyler saw things continued to surprise all the adults around him. At school, Tyler became popular not because he came from a wealthy family, but because of his kind and mature personality. He often told his classmates about the importance of family and how different people can love each other. "My family is special," he wrote in a school essay, "because it shows that love doesn't come in just one form. My dad loves me as a father. My mom loves me despite the mistakes she made. My grandma loves me as if I were her own flesh and blood. And my aunt loves me by helping other families. Love has many shapes." The teacher was so moved by the essay that she asked permission to share it with other teachers who used it as an example of emotional maturity. 2 years after the reunion, the Anderson family had become an example in their community. Michael had expanded the foundation to other cities. Dorothy had become a sort of counselor for parents in difficult situations, and Jennifer had become a speaker on postpartum depression and its consequences. Tyler, now 12, actively participated in the foundation's activities during school breaks, always under supervision. He had a natural talent for talking to children who had gone through traumatic experiences. "Uncle Tyler," said an 8-year-old girl who had been found after 2 years missing, "were you ever lost from your family too?" "I wasn't lost, but I was separated from my family when I was little," Tyler answered honestly. "But what matters is that we're together again now. I'm scared my parents won't love me anymore after so long. You know why I'm sure they love you? Because they never stopped looking for you, just like my dad never stopped looking for me." These moments confirmed for Michael that his son had inherited not just his physical traits, but also his capacity for empathy and leadership. One Saturday afternoon, while the whole family was gathered in the garden, Tyler asked a question that took everyone by surprise. "Dad, do you think if I hadn't asked you for help that day, our family would still be separated?" Michael thought carefully before answering. "You know, Tyler, I believe fate has its own ways of bringing people together who are meant to be. If it hadn't been that day, it would have been another time. But what if I had asked someone else for help? Then maybe another child would have been helped, and we would have found each other some other way. Jennifer chimed in. Tyler, do you want to know what I think? I think you saved me just as much as I needed to save you. You taught me how to be a real mother. What do you mean? When I left you, I was a broken woman who ran from responsibility. But having you back gave me the chance to learn how to be strong, to fight for our family, to be someone you could be proud of. Dorothy, who had been listening while watering the flowers, added, and all of you gave me a real family. I raised Tyler alone for years, but now I have a son, a daughter-in-law, and even a close friend, she laughed, pointing at Amanda, who visited them regularly. It's strange, said Amanda, who had just arrived, how something bad can turn into something so beautiful. I made a terrible mistake, but it ended up leading me to find my life's purpose, helping other families. Tyler listened to everyone speak, then said, so does that mean our family wouldn't be the way it is if we hadn't gone through all of that? Probably not, Michael agreed. We'd just be a father, a mother, and a son. Now we're so much more than that. We're an extended family, Tyler smiled, with a grandmother of the heart, a repentant aunt, and even kids from the foundation you kinda adopted too. It was true. The foundation had created a network of families who helped each other, with Michael and Jennifer becoming father and mother figures to many children still in the process of reuniting with their biological families. That night, Michael went into Tyler's room to say goodnight and found the boy staring out the window. What are you thinking about, son? I'm thinking about the scar on my forehead. Grandma Dorothy always said it was a mark that made me special. Now I understand why. Why do you think it makes you special? Because it's what made you recognize me that day. If I didn't have this scar, maybe you would have just given me the money and walked away. Michael sat on the bed beside his son. You know, Tyler, I'm not sure if it was the scar or something else. What else could it have been? Maybe it was the love of a father inside me. Love that recognizes love, no matter scars or appearances. Dad, can I ask something I've always wondered? Of course. Did it hurt a lot when I disappeared? Michael felt a lump in his throat. It hurt more than anything you can imagine, Tyler, but I also learned that true love never gives up. Even when it seems impossible, especially when it seems impossible, Tyler hugged his father. I love you, Dad, and I love our crazy patchwork family. I love you too, son, and our patchwork family is the most beautiful one I know. By the end of that year, the Anderson Family Reunification Foundation was recognized by the New York City Mayor's office as a model organization. Michael was invited to speak at conferences about family reunification and overcoming trauma. During one of these talks, he concluded with a reflection that summed up everything they'd lived through. Sometimes life separates us from the people we love in ways that seem impossible to fix. But I've learned that true love always finds a way back. It might take years. It might require forgiveness. It might need a lot of work to rebuild trust. But if the love is real, it always wins. In the audience, Jennifer, Tyler, and Dorothy watched proudly. Tyler had insisted on coming, even though it was an adult event. Dad, can I say something too? He whispered. What do you want to say? I want to tell people that sometimes kids have to choose to forgive their parents too, and that it's worth it. Michael was surprised but let Tyler take the stage. Hi everyone, Tyler said into the microphone, his child's voice echoing through the auditorium. I'm Tyler, the son my dad searched for 7 years. A murmur of emotion swept through the crowd. I wanted to say that sometimes kids have to be strong too. My mom left me when I was little because she was sick, and I could have stayed angry at her forever. But I chose to forgive, because forgiving isn't forgetting what happened. It's choosing to love even when people make mistakes. The audience was completely silent, and I want to tell all the mums and dads here who've made mistakes, your kids can forgive you, but you have to work every day to earn that forgiveness, like my mom does. Jennifer was crying in the audience along with many others. Last thing I want to say is that family isn't just about blood. Grandma Dorothy isn't my blood grandma, but she's my grandma of the heart, and that's stronger than any DNA. Tyler stepped off the stage to emotional applause. Many people approached him afterward, moved by his maturity. "A young man," said an elderly lady, "you've given me hope that my granddaughter might forgive me one day." "What happened? I left her with her father when she was little because I couldn't raise her. Now she's 15 and doesn't want to talk to me. Do you want some advice?" "I do. Don't give up. Keep trying, but don't push. And when she's ready to listen, tell her the whole truth. Kids understand more than adults think." Conversations like this had become common in Tyler's life. He had developed a wisdom about family relationships that impressed even experienced adults. At home, life had settled into a harmonious rhythm. Tyler was in 7th grade and one of the top students in his class. Dorothy had made friends in the neighborhood and joined senior groups. Jennifer worked part-time at the foundation and went to therapy twice a week. Michael had found a balance between work and family that he'd never had before. "You know," Tyler said during a family dinner, "I think I'm the luckiest kid in the United States." "Why?" Jennifer asked. "Because I have 2 families. My blood family, you guys, and the family that chose me, Grandma Dorothy. And now they've come together as one." "That's beautiful, Tyler," Michael said, "but you're not lucky, you know. You're deserving." "What's the difference?" "Luck is when good things happen without you doing anything. You deserve every good thing because you chose to forgive, to love, to be a good person, even after going through hard times." Tyler grew thoughtful. "So all the kids we help at the foundation deserve to find their families too. Every single one, without exception. Then let's keep working to make that happen." And that's what they did. In the following years, the Anderson Family Reunification Foundation grew and became a national reference. Tyler continued volunteering under supervision, and his story became a symbol of hope for many families. When Tyler turned 15, the family threw a special party. Not just a birthday celebration, but a commemoration of 8 years of family reunification. "Tyler," Michael said in his speech, "I want you to know you've transformed not just our family, but hundreds of others through the foundation we created, inspired by our story. And I want you to know," Jennifer added, "you taught me that a mother's love isn't automatic. It's something you earn, something you deserve, something you build every day." Dorothy, now 78 but still active, said, "My grandson by heart, you've given me the greatest gift anyone can give a lonely person, a big, loving family." Tyler, now a tall and mature teenager, hugged each of them. "You know, I remember almost everything now, right? I remember the day I left home as a little boy, the confusion, the fear. But I also remember that even in the worst moments, I felt like someone was looking for me. It was your love protecting me, even from afar." The end. Now tell me, what did you think of this story of overcoming and family forgiveness? Do you think Tyler made the right choice forgiving his mother? And Michael, was he wise not to seek revenge against Jennifer and Amanda? Share your honest thoughts in the comments. I love reading every one of your messages, and if this story touched your heart like it touched mine, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss other moving stories I'll share with you.